And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. Go visit our good friends at Hail Mary's. They're located in Cheviot. They're right on Harrison Avenue. So they're inside the Dora District. You can go from bar to bar with your drinks, but no need for that. Just hang out at Hail Mary's. They've got everything you need. 27 TVs, 9-screen video wall. They have the DirecTV Sports package, so you can watch all the games, and Cincinnati sports are always on that video wall. Brand new walk-in cooler, brand new draft lines, and ice cold Cincy Light on tap in 32.8 degree frosted glasses. All right, Aaron, let's get to it. Championship weekend has come and gone. No surprise, Texas Tech was the dominant winner of the Big 12 championship game. The playoff bracket is upon us. We can touch on that if you'd like. I don't have a whole lot to say on it, but I think BYU should have been in. I think that they got completely screwed by a committee that penalized. Do you know every team that lost their conference championship dropped a game in the standings except Alabama?
Weird.
Funny. But anyway, Texas Tech 34-7 over BYU. Things looked good for the Cougs. Right out of the gate, they marched straight down the field. Yeah. Touchdown, a long, bruising drive with Bear Bachmeier and LJ Martin, and that was it. They did not score the rest of the game. Texas Tech puts up 18 in the second quarter, 8 in the third quarter, or 13 in the second quarter, 8 in the third quarter, 13 in the fourth quarter. Very efficient. Baron Morton only threw for 215 yards, but he was 20 for 33. He had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. They ran for 159 yards. Jacoby Williams and Cameron Dickey spread the love around, and it was just a systematic dismantling of BYU.
I mean, we found out what we already knew. It really in this game is Texas Tech is head and shoulders above literally everybody else in the entire conference. It's not even close.
I think they have a chance to win it. Their defense is that good, and their offense is good enough. Like, I guess the question is, do you foresee them getting into a shootout? I don't. Like, I think their defense is that legit that they can navigate this playoff bracket pretty well if they can keep Baron Morton healthy.
I know everyone talked all season long, and maybe we hear it more around here because we live in the state of Ohio, but everyone talked all season long about how Ohio State had the best defense in the country, the best defense in the country, blah, 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 blah. Texas Tech, I think, would like a word. And I think they have a resume that they can stand on for a valid argument at this point. And I know people will talk about, strength of schedule. Well, outside of Ohio State and Indiana, I still don't know that the Big Ten had that many players in the game.
Aaron, BYU, Bear Bachmeier had 115 yards passing on 16 of 27, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
LJ Martin, 19 carries, 76 yards.
Came back to earth.
A long of 13. If that's not a dominant defense, what is?
You also fumbled 4 times, by the way, in this game.
Yeah.
And lost 2 of them.
Not great, Bob. Not great, Bob.
But what do we know about Texas Tech? They turn the ball over. They've done it all season long. So it's not just that they're dominant the line or anything like that, or they just stop teams because they're bullying them, but I guess they do that, but it's not just on stopping. They also turn you over a lot.
They're just aggressive. They get after your quarterback. They make you make mistakes. Like, everything about the way that they play is super effective and super efficient.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you win playoff games, right? Like, that's how you win big games.
They put an impressive team together. They put an impressive season together. I'm glad it's not over for them because they are a fun team to watch. And I think that I'm going back to the point that you and Dave made early on, where if you want to be taken seriously as a conference and you have to have someone dominant. And at this point, I don't know where the dominance by Texas Tech ends anytime soon.
I'm curious how much this changes like the way teams approach the portal. And look, I get it. It's very hard to approach the portal the way that Texas Tech did, mainly because
ton of money.
Well, it's not just that you have to have a ton of money, but there's not a lot of really, really good O-line and D-line options in the portal.
Yeah.
So you have to have the money, and you have to be able to recruit and land these guys. But, I mean, this is the blueprint of how to work the portal. You develop your skill guys, you develop and enhance your skill guys through high school recruiting in the portal. And then you go out and you say, we're going to get some monsters on the O-line and D-line so that we can compete every week at a level higher than the teams that we're playing against. Just really good, man.
Yeah.
Just really good. Let's get to basketball here real quick. Only game in the conference on Friday of note was Notre Dame TCU. And Notre Dame won that one by 2, 87-85. So TCU has been very Jekyll and Hyde so far this season. They've got some big wins, and they've lost. They lost in New Orleans with president of basketball operations Master P. They've won a couple impressive games. Notre Dame's not that good, so it's interesting that that they were able to get this one in overtime. Interesting thing to me, Aaron, TCU's lost 3 games at home. Like that's pretty crazy for this early in the year. Saturday, boy, Iowa State put the conference on notice Saturday as they pantsed Purdue 81-58. It was close at half, 35-31 at half. The second half was just an absolute Iowa State onslaught. 46-27, they win the second half. 81-58, they win the game. And it was worse than that for a while. It was up near 30 for a while. Boy, they're good.
That comes 3 days after they beat Alcorn State. And granted, it's Alcorn State, but they beat Alcorn State 132-68. So this team can score, and they can score a lot.
And they're also great on defense.
So it's like if their football team had an offense.
Right. Momcilovic with 20, Jefferson with 11, Lipsy with 9, and then Killian Toure, who is a name to keep an eye on, freshman, scores 13. And then they get Blake Buchanan with 12. So, yeah, I mean, they abused Purdue. Just absolutely abused Purdue. It's impressive.
Momcilovic has been outstanding this season. He's already averaging 18.3. Goodness.
And then Arizona takes number 20 Auburn to the woodshed, 97-68. And because of the Iowa State final, Aaron, Arizona's going to be number 1 in the country.
If Cincinnati wants to stand a chance in this conference at all, they're going to have to put on a show against Georgia and Clemson at this point.
Yeah. Bradley was 16. Braden Burries was 16. Ivan Karchenikov. What a name. Ivan Karchenikov with 12. And then their leader, Koa Pete, with 18 on 8 of 11 from the floor. Aaron, you would love Koa Pete. Have you watched Arizona yet?
No.
Koa Pete was 8 of 11 from the floor. He did not attempt a three. 2 of
My
2
man.
from the free throw line. He just gets busy from 2-point range.
Yeah, they're a force.
And for Auburn, I mean, Todd Pettiford was great. He scored 30. Keyshawn Hall scored 13 on 3 of 11 shooting. Nobody else in double figures for Auburn. So if that Arizona defense starts to match what we know about Arizona on the offensive end, Houston smacked Florida State 82-67. Seton Hall takes down Kansas State. Memphis takes down Baylor. So not a great Saturday for some teams in the league. Colorado State beats Colorado. Wake Forest beats West Virginia. Utah barely survives Cal Baptist. But Arizona State knocks off Oklahoma. And then today, TCU and North Texas in a close one as we're recording. 50-46, TCU's up with about 8 minutes left. Texas Tech smacks LSU. That's LSU's first loss of the season, 82-58. Christian Anderson, my guy, with 27 and 8. Nasty. Kansas, 80-60 over Missouri. The return of Darren Peterson,
He's back.
Looked outstanding. Did they bring? No, they started him. He had 17 in 23 minutes, 6 of 14 from the floor, 3 of 9 from 3, 3 rebounds, an assist, a steal. Yeah. Trey White with a double-double. Flory with a double-double.
Yep.
So Kansas rounding back into form. Now the Peterson's back. And then UCF takes down Towson 86-61. We got anything good coming up? Clemson BYU on Tuesday, Jimmy V Classic. That'll be one to keep an eye on. I will not have an eye on it. You know what I get to do Tuesday night, Aaron?
You don't.
You're gonna have to probably recruit Keegan for this show Tuesday night. I was offered tickets by a friend, and Kelsey and I will be in Bloomington to watch Drew Adams take on Josh Reed and Penn State.
Can't imagine who that friend might be.
I got friends. They snuck in on me. I was sabotaged on this whole thing because obviously Kelsey's a big Josh Reed fan. It's an 8:30 tip-off in Bloomington. We're gonna get home at 3:00 in the morning, and she's got school on Wednesday.
Well,
pretty much just buy games the rest of the week until Thursday. When we get Iowa State. You want to hit on the bowl game conversation? The playoff is what it is. I think the more interesting storyline is Kansas State, Iowa State, and Notre Dame opting out of bowl games. Kansas State and Iowa State because of coaching changes, I guess, but there's a lot of coaching changes. Those are the only two schools opting out. They were fined $500,000 each by the Big 12 for skipping their bowl game. Notre Dame, I think it was just kind of a middle finger to the system. I think they were supposed to play BYU in the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
I want to know where that
could have been a really good game.
I want to know where that $500,000 goes that they find them. So you got $1 million. Because what I think should happen is it should be dispersed to the rest of the teams who would have gotten a payout from whatever bowl game that they went to. That's what
that better be where it's going. Like it better, because you're punishing them for not going. The reason you're punishing them for not going is because you don't get the bowl payout. Your team doesn't play in the game. So yeah, that money should go back into the bowl payout for all the teams in the conference.
Except those two for that.
I wouldn't give them a bowl payout.
Be probably a bigger hit than that $500,000.
Probably. Because you're going to get the money from the Texas Tech game. The money from Texas Tech is going to go in there.
Hopefully games.
The Liberty Bowl's like $4.7 million payout. So like half of that goes to the league. There's a lot of money in there. I would just be like, okay, fine. You don't want to play in the bowl game. You don't get bowl payout. We don't share bowl revenue. But the bigger question is, are we seeing the end of the bowl process system?
For Notre Dame to sit out is, I think, disgusting. Like, you didn't have a coaching change. You took your ball and went home.
You're just pouting.
And granted, it seems from everything I've read, it doesn't come from the actual. It's not a team decision. It's the upper brass that makes.
It's an administrator decision. I'm guessing. Like, I think it was Kansas State that said they took a vote and the team decided not to play. So that's the administration executing the wishes of the team. And at least in those two situations, it's reasonable because there's new coaches coming in. Everybody's going to, like, I want to go to the portal. I don't want to play in a bowl game.
And along that same line, you had several 5-7 teams that have already turned down bowls as well that would have been able to be in a bowl. The two from our conference that it affected, UCF and Baylor, they turned it down, and largely because how long have they believed their season has been over, and how many guys are already in the portal for the exact same reasons. So they didn't want to do it, which makes sense again for Notre Dame to just be like, "No, we're good." It's, I think, disgusting because you had a good season. Let's not get lost on the fact you just didn't have a great season. And how many guys are?
You lost your two games that if you win one of them, you're in, and you didn't.
You also get to make your own schedule, so that's on you for not making a tough enough schedule. Or here's a thought: join a conference like everybody else. Anyway,
I don't want to do that,
and that's fine. Then you should. This is what happens. You reap what you sow. That all said, I feel terrible for. There's obviously going to be a handful of guys on all three of these teams that didn't realize their last regular season game was their last game of football for the rest of their lives. And I think that just kind of sucks for these guys when you thought you had a bowl game and now you don't.
The bigger thing for me is the sign that the end of the bowl era is coming, is nigh. And I think all it's going to take is a little bit more playoff expansion, and they're just going to start sprinkling these bowl names onto more and more of the games than they already are. And the top, if you go to 16, there's 15 games to a national championship. So the top 15 bowls will be associated with I wouldn't be shocked if the game is played at a home site. We've got a game at Oregon, but it is now the da-da-da-da-da bowl.
The unfortunate thing, though,
it's at Oregon.
The unfortunate thing is how many of these, especially at the group of 6, how many of these schools depend on this bowl money that they're getting when
you got to remember, though, Aaron, a lot of these teams lose money on bowl games.
I know they say that.
No, they do. The money they take in is less than the money they have to spend.
But in the pot,
go to the bowl game, to house all these people. But you're not thinking of this. Yes, but those bowl games that the American and whatever are in, go look at the payouts. It's nowhere close to what
I've seen. Yeah.
It's not close. So you're losing money or breaking even at best a lot of times going to these bowl games. And you know what the bowl games have become for those programs, Aaron? A chance for those players to try out for the transfer portal in a couple weeks.
Just there's a lot of people who have believed that there's been too many bowl games though for a long time. trim some of the fat, make it to where 8-4 is what gets you eligible, or something along that. 6-6 is a little crazy.
8-4 is ridiculous, but it needs to be 7-5. Like, you need to have you should not be able to lose the bowl game and end up with a losing record.
Right.
Yeah, you got to make it 7-5, trim some of the fat, but I just don't see going forward, like, especially if the playoff expands, there's not going to be benefit to playing in these bowl games. There's just not.
Well, time will tell. I don't know. I don't think you should be able to opt out. Like all of this,
they can't make you play.
They can make you play if your head coach isn't leaving, because they've changed the calendar to where all that stuff that we talked about this past, a week ago now, it feels like.
I don't think changing the calendar changes any of this coaching stuff at all.
Make your coaches untouchable until the season's over.
I just don't know how you accurately pull that off.
The NFL seems to do it okay.
Yeah, because the NFL has a union and collective bargaining, and college doesn't want that.
And a better calendar.
Yep. That's because they don't have school to mess with. All right, that's going to wrap it up. We'll see you tomorrow night for the BBP. I'm sure that's going to be a lot of fun. This is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!